The commander of Russia's Wagner mercenary group claims his fighters have almost surrounded the besieged Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. New trenches have appeared in villages outside of the city as defence forces dig in against the Russian advance. Residents are also leaving their homes. This online video supposedly shows Wagner fighters celebrating on top of a ruined building in the east of Bakhmut.
Wagner units have almost completely surrounded Bakhmut. There is only one road out left. The pincers have come together. If previously it had been the professional Ukrainian army who fought with us, today we see more and more elderly people and children. They fight, but their life in Bakhmut is very short. 1 or 2 days. Let them leave the city. It is almost surrounded.
Let's go live to Kyiv now. DW's Matthias Bullinger is standing by. Matthias, is it, as it seems, just a matter of time before Russian forces take Bakhmut?
Well, it looks pretty much like that. The Russian troops are in the north, in the south and in the east of the city. So it's surrounded from 3 sides. That seems to be pretty well established. The question is now whether Ukraine will be able to keep the road that leads into Bakhmut open and at what price they will be able to do that. Ukraine is denying that they're retreating, but that's not a surprise. They will most likely only announce it after it's done. That's for security reasons. They will try to get as much equipment out of there and leave just one small batch of soldiers to keep the Russians in check while the others are leaving, and then retreat very quickly. That's how they've done it. Before, this has been a battle of many months around the city, and the Russians have been advancing slowly but steadily. It looks pretty much like the Ukrainians are organizing a retreat, but we don't know for sure. It's the fog of the war. We have very many conflicting information about what's really going on the ground. Ukraine is saying that they are holding Bakhmut and that they're not retreating, but we will know the facts in a few days.
Matthias, added to that, Ukraine has also ordered a partial evacuation in the northeast city, frontline city of Kupiansk. What's the situation there?
We're talking about an evacuation of civilians, not an evacuation of the city, not a retreat. There has been fights going on near Kupiansk. The Russian army has tried to cross the river, which is outside the city, a few kilometers outside the river, the city, and there has been constant shelling of the city. This evacuation, they are saying obligatory evacuation of children and people with limited mobility. However, Ukraine has not enforced so far this kind of evacuation, even if they called it compulsory. In other parts of Ukraine, for example, in the Donbass, there was a similar announcement a few months ago there, and the people who are still left in Kupiansk, and we've been there a few times during the past 2 weeks, the people who are still there, they are reluctant to leave. Most people have already left. It seems to be about 1/5 of the people, mostly elderly people, who are still there, and that's pretty much what we've seen throughout this war in these places that are very close to the front line. There's always a part of people who do not want to leave either, because they do not know where to go. They do not trust that the announcement that they will be provided shelter and aid, so they prefer to stay on their own ground, or they're afraid of looting, or they just say that they've lived there their whole life and they're not ready to leave.
DW correspondent Matthias Bullinger in Kyiv, thank you.